Boa noite. Tudo bem com vocês? Hoje, então, estamos na segunda disciplina, na segunda palestra da nossa disciplina de temáticas, né? E como eu trouxe na semana passada, nesse semestre a gente vai estar abordando várias vertentes do uso da tecnologia na contabilidade. Então, na semana passada a gente trouxe o professor Marcelo, que abordou a questão do uso da tecnologia, do Big Data, em custos. Hoje a gente tem a palestra com a professora Rihab, que vai abordar o efeito do uso da tecnologia do blockchain na profissão de contabilidade e de auditoria. E na semana que vem a gente vai ter a palestra referente ao uso da tecnologia na educação contábil. Então, no mesmo esquema que a gente fez na outra semana, então a gente vai primeiro, nessa primeira parte da aula, ter a apresentação da nossa palestrante e a discussão de eventuais dúvidas que vocês quiserem colocar. E depois, na sequência, a gente faz o intervalo e depois do intervalo, a gente entra no ambiente da Blackboard para fazer o exercício. Então, estou muito grata com a nossa participante, porque ela é lá dos Emirados Árabes, lá já é 2 da manhã, então, muita honra ela estar aqui com a gente nessa hora, sem falar do renome que ela tem, é uma pesquisadora de grande peso que publica muitas coisas nessa linha de tecnologia e uma grande pesquisadora da nossa área contábil. Então, eu vou passar a palavra para ela, ok? Alguém quer colocar alguma coisa antes? Não? Teacher Rehab, how I was talking to you, I'm very grateful for your availability for being here with us, and it's a great honor for us to have your conference, and the word is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Juliana, for this opportunity to talk with, as I said at the beginning, the other part of the world, as we are living in the other opposite part. So it will be an interesting lecture to communicate and interact with the other researcher in accounting. So I'm Dr. Rehab, I'm accountant. I have a PhD in accounting, and today I will discuss the effect of blockchain technology on the accounting and the assurance professions. So let's start. So what's blockchain? What's blockchain? This is a new technology who started recently in 1991, developed in 1991. So the blockchain is a system that helps record information in a way to make it difficult or maybe impossible to change, to hack, or to manipulate the system. So blockchain mainly is a digital ledger of transactions, is a accumulation of transactions that is duplicated and distributed across a network of computer systems that are interconnected. So blockchain is a distributed digital ledger of data that continuously add information in chronological orders. So this data is immutable, and it forms a chain thanks to some specificity of blockchain. So how does blockchain work? This is very important to understand how the blockchain works. So first, we initiate the transaction. Someone will request the transactions. These transactions will be sent to peer-to-peer network. So that means there are many connected network systems. So this transaction must be verified. And then the transactions are combined to create a block. This is we called a block. The block is added to the blockchains, and finally the transaction is completed and become permanent. So here we have a blockchain. So as we discussed, there are mainly 4 steps in the blockchain. We start by the request of the transactions. Then this transaction must go to a broadcast to peer-to-peer network. Then a network of nodes validate the transactions. And finally, the transaction must be completed. So the question coming now is, why do we need blockchain? What are the reasons behind developing the blockchain? So blockchain presents some advantage. Its resilience, as is often replicated architectures, so the chain still operated by most nodes in the event of massive attack against the system, so it's not easy to hack the system. It helped to reduce the time, especially in the financial industry. Blockchain can play a vital role by allowing the quicker settlement of trade, as it doesn't need a lengthy process of verifications or settlement or clearance, because from the beginning, their settlement happened. Blockchain is reliable, as it certify and verify the identity of interested party who will be part of this blockchain from the beginning, and it permits or it allows to remove double record and to reduce rate and accelerate the transactions. So also the blockchain permit to do not change transaction. So by registering the transaction in chronological orders, blockchain certify the fact that we cannot modify the operation, which means when any new block has been added to the blockchain, it cannot be removed or modified. Blockchain also help to prevent fraud. So as there are basic concepts in the blockchain with regard to the shared information, and the concepts prevent possible losses due to fraud. So it's logic-based industry, so the blockchain will monitor mechanisms and act to reduce the cost. So blockchain is high security, so attacking a traditional database is very easy, especially with the cyber risk and the development of the technology. So here with the blockchain, so the distributed ledger technology, each party holds a copy of the digital chain, so the system remains operative and cannot be hacked easily. Even a larger number of nodes fall. So the blockchain also is a very transparent system. Change to public blockchain or publicly viewed to everyone. Any change to the blockchain will appear to all the part of this blockchain. So which offer a big transparency of all transactions. We cannot make change, because if we will make a change in any transaction, there are different parts of this transaction must approve this change. So also blockchain help our party to be actively directly part of the transactions without the request of the third party. And another very important advantage of blockchain is decentralized. Indeed, there is a standard rule how every change in the information is happening. This method will help that all transactions are validated, and all validated transactions will be added one by one to the blockchain. Yes, it's true that blockchain have some advantage, but also blockchain have a limitation and other disadvantages. It's very costly. It's very costly. So also there are slow transactions. It takes too much time to make the block. The ledger is relatively small, as it's not possible to full a copy of the blockchain, potentially, which can affect the consensus. The transaction cost is very high. So at the beginning, we start saying that it's nearly free, but with the time, now in the current time or the current years, we are talking about the cost, it's expensive. There is the risk of error. If any error happens due to human factor, it's not easy to correct the blockchain. So we cannot easily resolve the errors. And it's also wasteful, as every node that runs the blockchain has to maintain a consensus across the blockchain. This offer very, very low downtime and make data stored on the blockchain forever unchanged. So now, why we need this blockchain? So where we can use this blockchain? Blockchain is used now in the healthcare system, in the energy system, in the insurance service, in the transportation service, also in the banking service with the transfer of fund and the Bitcoin. We can use it in the entertainment, financial service, and the real estate. There are different sector where we can use the blockchain. Let's see some example how to use it in the market. The blockchain will help to billing, monitoring, and data transfer. Also, quota management in the supply chain network. So in the healthcare service, which is the common use of blockchain, so it helps data management, it helps to update and create health data bank, it helps to share US data common, it helps also, or it works to big health data stream analysis, it helps to make some digital health, some digital health wall smart property. It helps to develop contracts, as the basis of blockchain is contracts. So in the financial service, we are using now in the cryptocurrency. So it helps to digitalize the current payments, it helps to follow the payments and the maintenance. It helps to decentralize capital market using a network of the computer of the blockchain. So now here in the financial market, it will be decentralized the information and shared with many peoples. It helps to enter division accounting, and it helps to make trading, to make transactions in trading and derivatives. Also, in accounting service, it will replace bookkeeping service, bookkeeping transactions. So in the government sectors, so we use blockchain for transactional personalized government service, which is used widely in UAE. It can help to voting during the elections. It helped to digitalize the documents, the contract, and proof of ownership for transfer. It helped to register and identify. It helped to also to manage tax receipt and tax services and document registry for the financial, for the monetary authority. So there are also many different use of blockchain, or let's say different potential use of the blockchain technology. So as we said at the beginning, blockchain is a new technology just started or just created in 1991. So, however, there are some important cases of blockchain. We can say, for example, Dubai, the smart city, as in 2016, Dubai decided to move to smart offices by introducing blockchain strategy. So this technology will help entrepreneur and developer to connect with investor and leading companies. So the main objective of the blockchain system in the Dubai Smart City is to develop a various kind of industry to make Dubai the happiest city in the world. Something else I would like to add, that now Dubai or all the UAE are using the blockchain technology in the governments, institutions, and in the healthcare institutions, in the healthcare system. Also, we can discuss the case, or we can cite the case of instant customer retentions. So it's based off a blockchain technology. It's loyalty program, which is based on generating token for business affiliated with related to the network associated. So this system, in this system, the blockchain is exchanged and it can be stored in digital portfolio of user phone or accessing through the browsers. This technology will have a very big potential in the near futures. So also blockchain is used for humanitarian aids. So in last January 2017, the United Nations, so World Food Program, start using the blockchains for a project called humanitarian aid. This project was developed for rural area in Pakistan. By using this blockchain technology, all the beneficiaries receive money, food, and all type of transactions performed by the United Nations and help to improve the transparency of this process. Okay, just we discuss it, or let's say we see together an overview about blockchain, how the blockchain works, the advantage and the limitation of blockchain. So now, how this blockchain will affect the accounting profession. This is very important to understand this. So, one of the most important things that the blockchain technology has the potential to shift the nature of today accounting. So today we will not see the today accounting. The accounting will change in the next 10 years as it will be automated. All the accounting transactions and accounting process will be automated in compliance with the new regulatory requirements. The blockchain helps to do that. Also, in blockchain technology, we will not talk of the double entry accounting system. We are moving or shifting to the triple entry accounting system. As we records, we will move from the debit credits to a triple entry accounting system where there is a debit, where is a credit, and a third party is recorded, which is the blockchain. The third party entry will be the blockchain. So here, triple entries accounting will involve cryptographically security of all parties involved in the accounting process and linking them via a smart contract to a third party. The smart contracts will connect debit, credit, and the blockchain. So here also, the third party in the triple entry system, which is the blockchain, is both a transaction and invoice which get entered to the blockchain. So there are here, when we are talking about blockchain technology in accounting, there are 3 key concepts of blockchain that may affect the accounting industry. First, the smart contract. Second, the centralized distributed ledger technology. And third, the easy verification of the financial report. So what's a smart contract? So smart contracts is transactions automatically go through when certain conditions are met. The blockchains, to move to the blockchain, we need to create a smart contract. This smart contract will help accounting professional and organization to automate jobs like payroll and reconciliations, which help to reduce the cost and to be more efficient. Also, it helps to reduce the manual entry errors and, let's say, fraud. The second important element of blockchain in accounting is decentralized or distributed ledger technology. One of the most important blockchain technology was that to cut the middleman with transferring money. For example, you can send money peer-to-peer without having to go through a credit card process or bank or through a person or through a companies. So it helped to decentralize this and to remove this function. Also, the middlemen slow down transaction and add fees on their service. This is the transaction service. They are not all bad. This person who play a large role in protecting both parties in the extension from fraud. So blockchain will replace it indeed. The blockchain will maintain this security with public witness, call it miners. The miners replace a central authority role in verifying transactions. This done securely using a consensus protocol, a set of rules from the central of rule that we agreed from the beginning. So the third element of the blockchain is alternating transaction of the blockchain. So first, blockchain decentralized natures help to act as a proof that transaction happened. So it will help to make proof that this transaction happened. In the past, we use paper receipt for proof that transaction occurred at the bank. So this paper receipt were relatively hard to maintain. So now, with the introduction of the digital payments, we have to develop a digital receipt. We will not go to the previous paper bill. Blockchain technology is again a promising solution as it helps to reduce papyrus and to improve digital transactions. Blockchain immutable nature comes from the fact that once the public consensus validate all the transactions into the blockchain, so it's virtually impossible to delay the transaction. As they say, it can be an advantage and disadvantage in the same time. No one can change the transaction once it's entered in the blockchain. We cannot make any, let's say, many amendment in the transactions, only if all the party in this transaction agreed. So if an organization modify the transaction data in the blockchain, it will affect the hash value. This will be immediate red flag in the in the data, which is, and then we have a big process to verify from the beginning who initiate this amendment or this change, why and how, is it approval, and etc. Okay, so how the blockchains and accounting, how blockchain will affect the accounting and assurance service. So does blockchain affect the accounting profession? Yes, the question is yes, it will affect. Indeed, the blockchain has the potential to enhance the accounting profession by reducing the cost of maintaining and reconciling ledger, providing absolute certainty over the ownership of the history of the assets, and the history of the assets from the beginning. The transaction will not, we know from the beginning, once the transaction is set on the blockchain, it's hard to make a modification or to make a change. So for that, the blockchain will help accountants to gain clarity over the available resource and obligation of the company, and also free up resource to concentrate on planning and valuation rather than recording. So here record keeping will changes with a new skills. It's to plan and evaluate the future of the company based on the information in the blockchain, or the information like we recorded, or let's say that we accumulated in the blockchain. So here the blockchain will lead to more transactional level accounting being done, but not by accounting. So blockchain will take this role of bookkeeping and making basic accounting transactions or basic accounting record. So here, a successful accountant will be those that work on assessing the level, the real economic interpretation of blockchain records, and the record to economic reality and valuation, and interpret the record to economic reality and valuation. So for example, let's take this example, blockchain might make the existence of debtor certain, but its recoverable value and economic worth are still datable. So the blockchain will help us to see if this debtor will pay us in the futures or not, but the recovery valuable and the economic worth must be interpreted by the accountant. So, and assets ownership might be verified by a blockchain record, but its conditions, locations, and the true worth is still need to be assured by an accountant, like the stock. Okay, we know from the beginning that you have the stock, but to verify the value of the stock, or to verify the condition of stock, so it must be done by an accountant. So by eliminating reconciliation and providing certainty over historical transactions, blockchain will allow for increase in the scope of accounting. So here the accounting will not only be concerned about bookkeeping, but he need to take it. The blockchain will bring more area into consideration that are presently deemed too difficult or unreliable to measure, such as the value of the data that company hold. Here we need the accountant. So as we said that from the beginning, yes, the blockchain will replace some accounting professions like bookkeeping and reconciliation work, but we still need the judgment of accounting, the professional judgment of accounting. So will blockchain take over of accounting? So blockchain is already impacting the auditor profession of the organizations using blockchain to record transactions, and the rate of adoption is expected to continue to increase. However, in the immediate future, blockchain cannot replace financial reporting and financial statement auditing. But it will not replace. So the move to a financial system with a significant blockchain element will offer many opportunities for accounting professions. Accountants are seen as experts, professional judgment, record keeping, application of complex rules for leasing contract, for example, for big construction contract. So here we need an accountant. So they have the opportunity, so accounting here with the blockchain, they will have the opportunity to guide and influence how blockchain will be designed and used in the future, and also will be an effective part to develop the blockchain solutions and services. So to develop blockchain solutions and services, we need accounting, we need professional judgment. So accounting here with the blockchain will work as advisor to company to consider joining blockchain themselves, providing advices on weighing the cost and advantage of the new system, how this new system works, how it must be designed for this bank, for this firm, for this sector of activities. So accounting will mix the business of financial, will position them a key advisor to company approaching this new technology, looking for opportunities. So let's go over these key points. Blockchain technology has the potential to impact all recording process, including way transaction are initiated, processed, authorized, recorded, and reported. This is recording keeping process. Change in business model and business process may impact back office activities such as financial reporting and tax, but will not replace it. Both the role and skill sets of auditor and accountant may change as a new blockchain-based technique and process emerge. For example, method for obtaining sufficient appropriate audit evidence will need to consider both the traditional general ledger and the blockchain ledger, as we have a new automated blockchain. Also, there is a potential to have a more transparency in reporting and accounting, which could enable more efficient data extraction and analysis. Blockchain will replace, for sure, bookkeeping and reconciliation work. This could threat the work of accounting in those areas. However, it will add accounting here need to focus in future skills that will be needed in the market. So now let's see the application of blockchains for auditors. For sure, if the blockchain technology will impact the accounting profession, so it's 100% it will impact the audit professions. Here, the independent auditors will need to understand blockchain technology as it's implemented at client side, whether clients are pursuing blockchain business opportunity, implementing blockchain business application, or applying blockchain in accounting. So performing confirmation of a company financial status would be less required if some of all of the transactions that underline status are visible on the blockchain. So here the auditor will not focus on the basic daily activity of the company. He will focus on the sophisticated transactions. Here, the auditor will have a profound change in the way how to he perform the audit. So we have here to ask a question with the blockchain. Should we look for a reasonable assurance The auditor should look for a visible assurance of absolute assurance. I think now we cannot talk about reasonable assurance as the new technology will help to make a full audit of the financial statement. So now we are moving indirectly to the full assurance. So a blockchain solutions, when it's combined with appropriate data analytics, could help with the transactions level assertions involved in audits, and the auditor skills would be better spent considering the new technology. For example, auditing is not just checking the transactions as before, but also how it's recorded and classified. We need to check where it's recorded, how it's recorded, by whom, and how it's classified. So if the transaction's credit cash, is this outflow due to the cost of sales expense, or it's paying a creditor or creating an asset? We can do this. We need an auditor. We need a human judgment. This judgmental element often requires context that is not available to the general public, but instead requires knowledge of the business. And will blockchain help the auditor? And the auditor will have more time to focus on these questions, which is very important. So now, if the blockchain technology will disturb the accounting and auditing professions, that means there are new skills that will be required. 100% accounting will remain relevant and much needed. Also, auditors will still be needed to express an opinion about the fairness and the accuracy of the financial statement. Blockchain will help to do that, but blockchain is artificial intelligence system does not guarantee the financial reports are accurate and presented fairly. It's a system, it's automated. Indeed, the artificial intelligence system and process must be verified frequently by a professional judgment to review the financial system. So here, the role of accounting and auditor will be re-engineered with the progress of the adoption of the blockchain technology system. So new generations of skilled accounting and auditor are required to respond to the change in the accounting and auditing paradigm. But do you think that blockchain will make all this change immediately? The answer is no. Blockchain is still in infancy stage. We have to wait for 1 decade more to make these changes. So this is, I try to be brief and straightforward in my presentations. So
thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So I hope this presentation is helpful. So if you have questions.
Thank you very much. And I will ask you for the students to if they have some doubts.
Yeah.
Pessoal, alguém quer colocar alguma questão? Algum comentário?
I would like to ask a question. First of all, thank you, Dr. Hihab, for taking this time with us. I guess it's very late in the evening there or early morning in the UAE. And my question is regarding your article about the government experiment in the UAE where blockchain was used for automated transactions of the government. And I would like to understand what were those initiatives from the part of the government where is blockchain being used in the day-to-day operations of the state?
Yes. Okay. So in UAE, they start implementing the blockchain technology in the government sectors. So all the ministry, all the government institutions now, they are interconnected. So any transaction happen, for example, in municipality, you will find, you can access to this transaction in the ministry, for example, of, let's say, the Ministry of I don't know, the economic of the economy, or so it's interconnected. So now they reduced the number, for example, of employee to make this daily transactions as is automated, and it's all the transactions are interconnected across the governments, and now they starting make connecting the healthcare services, to get, if you go to the hospital and you need approval for a medicine or for a checkup or for any service, so you need an approval from the insurance service. So now it's automated through blockchain. So it will not take too much time. In 5 minutes, you can get approval. So this is what is happening. They started, but the aim is within 5 years, all the country will be interconnected. So they are working on that. I hope that I answered your questions, Doctor.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Alguém mais quer colocar alguma questão, algum comentário?
Let me follow up on the question. On the last slide was said that blockchain is still in the infancy, and you said that it will need an horizon of 10 years to get to somewhere. Yeah. How can we think about this 10 years? What can we see happening in the middle, 2 years from now, and then 10 years?
So first, blockchain is a technology. Any technology must be updated because there are some issues they face it. So any technology must be revised. So it's not a perfect technology. That means developer will build on blockchain technology. So it will impact the accounting and the auditing professions for sure. But it will not impact today. It will impact after 10 years because it's need time to be implemented across the world. So, there are some restrictions, there are regulations. It's not easy to some country, they will refuse to implement it immediately as there are some regulatory issues, some governance issues, technology issues. So it will take time. But in the meanwhile, I think it's the time to think to reshape the accounting and auditing professions with the new requirements. So, for example, in UAE, they start, or Big Four company, they start developing professional expertise in blockchain technology, as they know this is the future. But they know from the now is not an immediate. It will not happen today, but it will happen in the next, let's say, at least next 10 years.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mais alguém quer comentar alguma coisa?
Tem uma pergunta aqui no chat. Tem uma pergunta aqui no chat.
A Isabella has question, is there some transaction between countries? How can we uniformize that?
Yes, if there is transaction between country, yes, this is the cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is transactions between country, not country as a government, but between place and another place. So there are transactions. They started with the cryptocurrency, but still, as I say, it's trial. It's not a big is not a big industry. We just started checking if it will work, what's the issues. You know, there is the cyber risk now with this technology development. So here we have to take care of that. So yes, there are some transactions in terms of cryptocurrency, yes. We have to wait. This is what I will say. We have to wait to see how it will impact.
Sorry, okay, can I ask other question?
Yeah.
It's Isabella.
Sure.
Doctor, I have a question. Maybe someday we'll have transactions between governments. You believe in that, or maybe it's not something that it can be possible in the future? Because I saw some transactions between people, but not governments. So it's a reality or not?
Very important question. Yes, here, if we are talking about transaction between governments, like as I said, the case of cryptocurrency and data mining, this is the best case. So here, as you say, many central banks and monetary authority now they are working to understand or to regulate the cryptocurrency to make these transactions. But till now, there is no a proper or a big amount of transactions between governments, but they are now working or studying how it will make that happen.
Perfect, thank you.
Welcome. So blockchain is what? For data mining and cryptocurrency, this is the basis. They develop blockchain for data mining and cryptocurrency. So first of all, we are looking to make it more effective in the financial service, then to move to the other, you know, any transaction there is money, so there is payment. So for that, we need to develop cryptocurrency.
Oi, Mari, pode colocar.
Okay. Hi, Dr. Ribai. So thank you for your presentation. I have a doubt about when you talk about auditor professions, when you say that we may not need to make confirmations, for example, you say that we can make these confirmations, it will all be available on blockchains. How is it happen? Because it's difficult for me to visualize some transactions, for example, are very it's not something that it needs to be available. It's not I'm trying to remember the word, like confidentiality or something like that. So if it's not something that it's public information, how it will happen? Someone needs to give the auditor, for example, the right to go on through this system, or if it's like completely available. I can't see it, sorry.
Yes, I understand your question. So the question, how you think that the blockchain technology will help or will eliminate the audit profession? It will not eliminate. So from the beginning, the auditor must be part of the design of the blockchain system in any audited company. So he has to be part of the design. He needs to understand how this blockchain system will work for company A. He has to understand the architecture of that. Then, once it's done, the good thing that in blockchain, we cannot change transactions. This is a good thing. We cannot change transactions. So once the transaction is there, we cannot manipulate the information. So here, we are not talking that the auditor has to audit all the transactions, as from the beginning, we know that we cannot manipulate these transactions. However, the auditor, as I said, must be there at the first step of designing the blockchain system of the company to understand how the system will work. Then he has the full assurance, like a primary test, that the system will not be manipulated. Now, the auditor, as you know, we cannot, the auditor, okay, the blockchain will eliminate the daily transactions. So the auditor will not evaluate or will not audit the daily transaction, but any company have some important transaction or specific transaction that must take it, that the auditor must take care of that, must verify it by himself. Also, as we said, it's true that the blockchain has all the information, but valuing the stock or valuing the inventory is not easy to do it by the blockchain. The blockchain is a system, is an artificial intelligence. It cannot evaluate the inventory. Auditor must go and evaluate the inventory. So, but blockchain will help the auditor in other things. For example, usually the auditor has to give what we said. Auditor will give a reasonable assurance. Why he's giving a reasonable assurance? Because he will not audit of the full transaction or the transaction of the company. He will make a sample. Now the blockchain will help. We don't need, the auditor has to move from the reasonable assurance to the full assurance, as the artificial intelligence will help him to do that.
Yeah, I understand, but the thing I was thinking about when you said about the confirmations, for example, is something that I believe, for example, there is a transaction with a bank,
yeah,
and this transaction will be available on blockchain. I will not
yes.
need to send letters for confirmation or something like that, right?
You don't need to send letters. Okay, this transaction will be available to the part of these transactions, the company and the bank. So it's already there. So we don't need to send a confirmation for a bank anymore.
Yeah, but when you say that it's available there, how we as like common humans, I can see how I can see it's through a system. The company
through the system, yes,
through the system.
Through the system, you will find a digital confirmation, a digital, let's say, digital transactions, digital bill, or
so
digital.
It would be it will still inside the company. It's like a system, but
yes.
this transaction will be like confirmed or inside blockchain. We don't need to
confirm. This is the point. The blockchain, we don't need to confirm this transaction, as from the beginning, the transaction will not be added to the blockchain only if the three party, which is the company, the bank, and the blockchain, approve this transaction. That's mean if three of them, they approve, this transaction is from the beginning, is correct. We don't have, as we said, we cannot manipulate the blockchain. We cannot make a change. This is one of the limitations of the blockchain, that we cannot make a change. We have to repeat the transaction, but we cannot change the transactions. So it's reduced the fraud risk.
Yeah.
But here we have to talk about cyber risk.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now I got it. Thank you.
Okay.
We have other question in the chat. Edinardo has question: have we experienced any rupture with blockchain?
Yes, at the beginning, yes. A rupture, yes, at the beginning, when they start trying a blockchain, yes, for sure, 100%. This is technology. This is a human, developed by human. So there are mistakes, there are errors there. Yes. As I said, this is a new technology. They are developing this technology. Now they are developing the contracts, the automated contracts. So yes, for sure.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Gilberto here. First, thanks for your time. And I just have a question similar to blockchain and in artificial intelligence and other data analysis tools. Are you seeing another technological trends that will improve the preparation of financial statements, and similar to these tools that you're to blockchain and another data analysis tools?
Yes, I think also cryptocurrency will affect a lot financial reporting. Yes.
Thanks.
Então, alguém quer colocar mais algum ponto? Não? Então, so thank you again, Dr. Rihad. It was a great conference, and I made some points. What you, for example, I have never thought about the triple entry questions in issues important for our profession, that when we are in the daily activities, we don't think about that. And it opened my mind. I think it opened a mind of all of us. Very thanks.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to communicate with you, to give this lecture. This is very important. So it's very interesting to understand what the other think about this technology. As I said, we just starting. So let's see in the near future how it will impact the accounting and audit profession. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Vamos bater palma.
Thank you.
Então, agora a gente vai fazer um intervalo, e aí depois, quando a gente retornar do intervalo, a gente já retorna no ambiente do Blackboard. Agora são 8 horas, acho que podemos fazer meia hora de intervalo, 8h30 a gente retorna. Portanto, só precisa retornar quem está matriculado, né? Quem não é aluno participante não precisa retornar. Então, 8h30 retornamos no ambiente da Blackboard, ok? Obrigada.
Combinado.
Thank you.
Obrigado.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.